of our country and our life. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for the warm reception. Bearing the applause in our hearts, let's welcome our first chief guest, Mr. Krishnan G. Nair, the CEO of the KGN Group. Being an alumnus of IIM Bangalore, he's also a charter member of TIE Kerala. He's experienced with the nuances of crucial cashew processing industries of the state. Today, he will be briefing us on the topic, failure to success, which undoubtedly would be a lesson to learn. So please begin.
Okay. Thank you, Manal Adam. It is actually fail to succeed, not failure to succeed. It's a catchword. Okay. So Dr. Mohammad Sadiq, the other speaker, Mrs. Saabina Siraj, Tamim, who was interacting with me, and all my dear young friends. It's always a pleasure to talk to a young crowd like this. I would first like to check whether I'm audible. Can someone say whether I'm audible?
Yes, sir. It's audible.
Audible. Okay. And am I visible? Is it okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. It's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to start with a story. And in this story, a long time back, thousands of years ago, there were two goddesses. One of these goddesses was a goddess of success. And the other goddesses was a goddess of failure. So one day, this goddess of success walks around to the goddesses of failure and says, look here, why does everyone love me? But then you're one of the most hated persons on earth. It was in a very mocking fashion. And then the goddess of failure actually smiles at her and says, that is because I am the painful truth and you are the beautiful lie. The painful truth and the beautiful lie. Now that's a catchword. That's my title, fail to succeed. It means it can be taken in many ways. That is, do you fail to succeed? That is, are you not succeeding? Or does it have any other meaning that failure is essential in life? Now, if you look at this, see, you look at nature. Now, in nature, you will find that the very first act you do, the very first act you do in life, the action, the main action you do in life is to fail. Let's take walking. Every one of us, we have all failed when we have tried to walk. Similarly, for swimming, cycling, all that you fail. So for almost every activity, you first have to fail to succeed. Even the king of the jungle, lions, only 40% success in every raid, 40%. In our businesses, it's actually considerably less. Now you take the R&D in Western universities and Indian universities. Why do you find, now there are many innovators coming up in India, but why do you find that, you don't find so much of innovation? You never used to find, now it's coming up because of software and internet and all that. It is because in India, that is a secure, if you are a businessman, trust me, I told you I'm a third generation businessman. Trust me, whenever you say your father is a businessman, they look at you as if you're some sort of a, which business are you? And I'm in exports. They think I'm a smuggler because I'm importing and exporting. That's the kind of attitude people have. Maybe because, we were under the British for a long time, and the British came here as a capitalist company, the British East India Company. And many people say that that is one of the reasons. Even in those days, when I was in the marriage market, many parents refused to have their daughters married off to a businessman. They wanted somebody with a regular job, at least in a private company. So that was how the situation is. But post 1991, everything changed. In fact, for our convocation at IIM, it was Manmohan Singh who came. And his convocation speech was actually, he was RBI governor at that time, and his convocation speech was actually the reply session speech. And I think entrepreneurship really kicked off in India. But you must understand, you can look at the photo, at the picture behind me. I'll move away for a second. This is the port of Kollam about 500 years ago. For the port of Kollam 500 years ago, when the Portuguese used to come here, and it used to be a port for around 2,500 years. And they say the first entrepreneurs in the world were the merchants who sailed in such ships from many countries. They were very daring. They were not scared of failure. Some of them could never even go back, or they could go back to their families only after maybe decades. So, you know, the fixed views are changing. Even if you look at nature, today morning, I read in the paper, so the world is spinning. It's there on the Indian Express last page. The world is spinning at a faster pace on its own axis. So the day will now be, you know, the measure of time is might be less than 24 hours by certain milliseconds, maybe later, even a second. So if you look at the growth in the previous years, you'll find that during the agricultural revolution, when the world was, you know, under an agricultural milieu, you will find that the progression has always been arithmetic, slow. During the Industrial Revolution, which came up about 200 years ago, the progression became geometric. But now with the technological revolution, the progression has been exponential. I don't think I have to explain about progressions to an engineering student. I am not an engineering student. I had to study all this before I went to IIM because I did not study maths after 10th class. Now, if you look at entrepreneurship, let's take startups. Now, I would like to make it very clear that I'll be speaking more of entrepreneurship, but I will definitely refer to startups also. Do you know that 90% of the startups fail? Yet there are so many people willing to invest because startups have very high return, but higher risk. Now here, I'm going to bring in a case study. It's about a company called Jeeves Consumer Services. You know, Jeeves means the valet of Bertie Wooster in PG Woodhouse. Now, this company was started by two entrepreneurs, Alok Sen and Bala Subramanian. Now, the methodology I'm going to take in this is I'm going to follow a methodology of 6 W's and 1 H model. Jokingly, it is called the 6 wives and 1 husband model because it has 6 W's of wives and 1 H of husbands. And the 6 W's are why, what, when, where, who, which, and the 1 H is how. So let's go with why. Why did they start this company? They found a need in the market. One day, this Bala Subramaniam's wife came running to him and said, oh dear, electric chimney has broken down. There's something wrong with it. They don't know what it is. Out of warranty. So definitely they have 2 options. They have to call the brand, which is very expensive, or they have to call a local electrician. This was back in 2007. So they called Just Dial. Just Dial, I don't know how many are aware of Just Dial. It's a company which has been around for some time. Every city you have him, and he disappeared with 3,000. Now you must understand a company, when you're in warranty, it's a cost to the company. But when you're out of warranty and they want to do something, they charge you because they charge you very high, because that is where they make a lot of money. Brands also don't stock old parts. There's obsolescence, the cost of carrying inventory. And so this Bala Subramania suddenly thought, he didn't get the idea from an incubator or an innovation lab. He got the idea right at home because there was a need in the market. He called his friend Alok Sen and they started this company. So what was it? It was installation and service of durables and electronics. Because in India, there is no do-it-yourself culture, unlike in the West. For example, in the West, especially in America, you do everything. You even polish your car yourself. You go pitch up tents. So you have, your hands are flexible. Even if you have a small problem at home, you try to fix it yourself. In India, there is no do-it-yourself culture. There's also a small aversion. Now, when you look at business, you also have to understand the sociological factors, not just the economic factors. In India, manual labor is a bit taboo. Okay, so many people wouldn't like to do manual labor. They feel, oh, it's not good. Well, it's not a good attitude, but that's how it is. And when did they start it? In 2007, when 7% of, 87% of the business was software in startups, 7% was hardware, and 6% was products and services. So where did they start? In Bangalore and 6 other cities. Who was their target segment? B2B and B2C. That is the brands plus the consumers directly. They would service, if somebody calls one number, just one number throughout India, they can, they'll get connected to any city in India. And even if it is a brand, the brand will inform them and they will go and service or repair or maintain, whatever. Funding, very important. When you start, these guys were working and they did not have big family wealth. So they used up their PF. They were still working. So they took loans from their PF and all that and managed some money. So this is known as bootstrapping, like they're not going anywhere else. And banks will also not lend to them because they have no collateral and they have no collateral and they do not have any, stock. So which are the brands which came up to them? Amazon, Flipkart, Tata Chroma, Aditya Birla, Future Group, Sanyo, Toshiba, BPL, Metro Cash and Carry, about 70 brands. So how did they start it? They started it as a private limited company. As a private limited company, because you have to have a private limited company to showcase it to other fund managers, to venture funds, to private equity, angel investors. You have to do that to get the money. And what was the business model? There were 3 basic elements. One was innovation, the other was technology, and entrepreneurship, of course, the 3 basic elements. So these guys grew, they grew into 350 cities, 1,200 direct employees, and 3,600 indirect employees. There was a cash flow crunch, and so they had to go in for some private equity funding. The cash flow crunch is actually a very important thing because you might have profits, you might have big volume, but cash flow is the key to any business, especially a startup or for an entrepreneur. So B2B, they had to give credit to all the brands, but B2C, they got cash. However, they couldn't concentrate on B2C because of the large volumes of business. They couldn't handle it, so they had to take funding from a private equity. So you look at Amazon and Flipkart. I'll come to it in the questions that Flipkart was still making losses. Lots and thousands of crores would be losses when Walmart bought them out. Amazon, they say, is still making losses. I don't know, but how do they survive? So I'll come to that later, I think, in the question and answer session. So they took up private equity funding in 2012, approached 40 venture capital funds. They were lucky because sometimes you have to go up to 100 venture capital funds. In 2014, they sold the company to Flipkart. Actually, they had Amazon, Flipkart, many people bidding for them. And in 2016, they exited. Today, the company is there in 500 cities. It has 15,000 to 20,000 direct and indirect employees. It's still owned by Flipkart. In October 2020, it handled 1.5 million consumer calls, 15 lakhs, and 91% were resolved within 24 hours. So what is the message this has to entrepreneurs? Target a small niche. Because there are a lot of players out there. You have to target a small niche. Now, the need for that here came from the house itself. It did not come from anywhere else. Of course, you need to go to incubators, innovation labs. Then partly work on the side. When you start, many venture capitals, many private equities, they might, give money for greenfield ventures and all that. But, usually they look at people who already have an experience. See, this Alok Sen and Bala Subramania, they had already worked for 15, 16 years before coming here. Look beyond your home state and sometimes even your country, because now you have a, seamless market, energy and effort, flexibility, open to learning agility. That is, you have to unlearn and you have to relearn. You have to keep on doing that. It's a continuous process. Planning, you can't get anything in business without planning. Financial literacy. Now, this is something which is not taught in our schools. We study it in colleges. When you have to do everything with money all your life, nothing is taught about financial literacy. When people pass out of college, usually they don't know what's an income and expenditure statement. They don't know what a profit and loss or a balance sheet is. They don't know anything about cash flow, assets, liabilities. Team skills and teamwork, in-house, tech platform and training. Now, this is one of the factors which was the key thing. They had an in-house tech platform and in-house training, so they're not letting out, their trade secrets, and an exit strategy. That is very important. You have to always have an exit strategy. Tamim, or rather, Adams, Adam, can you tell me how many minutes more I have, so that I can adjust my speech accordingly?
You can,
Adam.
You can have 10 to 15 minutes more, sir.
Okay, thank you.
10 minutes. Then 5 minutes for question answer session.
Okay. So look at, one basic thing which I have to tell you is be a doubting Thomas. A statement, when you say, okay, I know that, a statement really closes you. But a question always opens your mind. If you want to find what is a need, what is a need you have to address in the society, the community, the country, what do you have to do? You have to ask a question. Look around you. In the earlier days, there used to be known as till figures. That is in every supermarket in America and all that. They used to have till figures. Like they used to look at, in order to decide which product to bring out, they used to look at a shopping list of housewives or of people who are going out to shop to see which product comes in first. Look at COVID. What I have to tell you is in every calamity, there is an opportunity. So you'll be surprised. There was one sector which did very well. And that was actually agriculture. And there are so many agripreneurs now. And the other one is health and hygiene. I'm sorry, but I'll get back to you in a minute. Is there any problem?
No, it's gone.
Okay, thank you. So in case you're not audible or I'm not audible or I'm not visible, please, you can tell me, because you can come on the screen and tell me, because I won't be able to hear it if the connection is cut, because the electricity keeps going on and off out here, and we have to, there's a time for the backup. Okay, health and hygiene is another field, logistics, FMCG. Now we have a lot of these webinars in the industry, throughout India and abroad also, in Africa, America, Europe, Japan, and all that. And one thing we found out was the sale of biscuits had gone up by 100%. Okay. So I'm not going into my business because I don't have that time, but I'm going to go into a few things about the future. That is, in the future, about 40% new job skills would be required every 2-3 years. Is what Gopi Kalai, the brand evangelist of Google, mentioned in a conference in Madras a few years ago. Am I still inaudible?
It's not clear, sir. Not clear.
Okay, then what I'll do is.
Now, when you're coming closer, it is getting clear, I think.
Okay, sorry. Is it clear now?
No.
Okay, then please hold on. Is it okay now?
Now it's okay, I think.
Okay, I think there's some problem with my AirPods. You must understand you're all students, and when you go out for a job, the core or technical things which you study, that matters only 15%. What you need are soft skills.
I've gone for, taken lectures at many institutions, management institutions in Kerala, including your Karuvelil and also the MBA Institute of TKM. Listening, communicating, and presenting. When you have to present a project to someone for funding, or to your customers, or to your suppliers, you have to communicate well. I was very fortunate because I had an experience in road track and Rotary. And although it was only after I turned 50, I joined an organization called Toastmasters. And if you need to know anything about this organization, you can ask Tamim and I will give you the contact number. Now, before that, I'm going to go quickly to an organization I'm a charter member in. And this organization actually promotes entrepreneurship. And it is called the TI Kerala, that is the Indus Entrepreneurs Kerala. It was formed in the Silicon Valley. It consists of all foreigners also, but mainly Indians. Mainly Indians, started in the Silicon Valley, came to Kerala in 2002. I'm a charter member of TI. And there are lots of programs which they have for entrepreneurs and for the startups. So let's just take a quick look at that. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are TI support for startup ecosystem in Kerala. I will, same thing, you can contact Tamim. I'll give the contact number of the director there. And it's in Cochin, the office is in Cochin, although we have operations all over Kerala. The major startup programs initiated by TI Kerala, I don't have the time, so I'll just go through it once. It's startup boot camps, startup showcase, technology expo organized at TICon, that is TICon is a conference. The Margadarshi mentoring masterclasses, TI Kerala outreach partner, TI Kerala Angel Network. Now this is an angel fund, which is where the capital comes in from the TI charter members. And they have already, given funding for many people. The Startup Entrepreneur Award, this last year, it went to a person called Shihab Mohammed, who was a founder and CEO of Survey Sparrow. And this year, it has gone to Mr. Thompson of Rapido. Startup Ecosystem, Capital Cafe Pitch Fest. This is also there in many places. The TI Young Entrepreneurs Program, which is for schools to promote entrepreneurship in schools. Mentoring, funding for startup, which I mentioned earlier, through the Kerala Angel Network. Startups and youth entrepreneurs have benefited and got funded by initiatives. These are some of the startups which actually got funded by TI. These are some of them. Some of the names are quite funny, but it actually, that second name refers to a startup which is doing something connected with diapers. Well, that's all I have to say. I hope I have finished within the time allotted. Yes, I think I have. So I open the stage for questions. Please, anyone can ask questions. I think either you can ask me directly, or you can, put it in the chat box and Tamim can read it out to me, whatever you want.
So I have a question, sir.
And may I know who this is? Can you switch on your so I can see? Shafi. Okay.
So it's Abel, sir.
It's Abel. Yeah. Abel is a student of Fatima, and Abel is also a Toastmaster. I'm actually in Toastmastery, where you promote leadership and communication. I'm his mentor. Yes, Abel, go ahead.
So what's the scope of entrepreneurship during these times, especially for students who are going to pass out in the next few years?
See, that's exactly what I mentioned. I mentioned agriculture. Now, these are the things which have scope now, but it can change. By the time you pass out, it can change. Things, the earth is, even the earth is spinning faster. Now, the message I want to tell you is that please work for some time before embarking on something. One thing is you need, 90% of these startups fail. You're only hearing of all the success stories. You're only hearing of the private equity funds and the venture capitals which have done well. Now, even out of Kollam, I think in the past 1 or 2 years, maybe 100 or 200 crores of rupees have gone into startups. And how many must have, see, some of them have grown many times. Some of them have grown many times. But a lot of them have failed. So I think, and even venture capitals and private equity funds, for example, a friend of mine who studied with me in IIM, he was the worldwide president of Standard Chartered Private Equity. Now he's worldwide head, and now he's left it and he's started his own company. He was working for such a long time. And even the person I spoke of, Alok Sen, he was also, and Bala Subramanian, they were also working for 16 years. Okay, you can start something, but get some experience and then do it. That is my message to you. Don't jump straight away unless you have a fantastic idea. By the time you're out of college, you already have funding ready. If you have that, go ahead. Otherwise, my advice is take a job and then get into this, have this by the side. A very close relative of mine, very, very close relative of mine, he's working somewhere, but on the side, he's looking at something else because the company also allows them to take other businesses. Is that okay, Abel?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Anything else? Okay, Mr. Sadiq, I think if there are no more questions, can I wind up in 2 sentences?
So,
Yeah, I think Sabir Najim wants to speak, right?
yes, sir. So for startups, funding is a main.
Can you please switch on your video so that I can see you?
Yes, sir.
Unless your bandwidth has a problem.
Yeah.
Sabir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So for starting a startup, like funding is a main issue. So how can we overcome that issue, like the problem of funding?
Yeah, I didn't go into the nitty-gritties of these things because I thought that you already have a link with Startup Mission and with the, you also have an IEC, the entrepreneurship and startup development in your own college.
Yes, sir.
Now, I would strongly recommend that the college has an incubator and an innovation lab, which is very active. Or you can actually approach, places like Thai Kerala, I mentioned it, they are also funding. Or you can approach Kerala Startup Mission. Now, there are various stages of funding for startups. And I don't think we have the time to explain all. There is seed capital. You can do that, I told you, by bootstrapping your own funds and resources, or you can, borrow. But banks may not give you because you need stocks and collateral and all that. Some banks may do it, but not all banks. If you approach one of these places, you will definitely get the advice for that. Thai is an excellent place. You also, I think, have the Kerala Management Association in Cochin. There are so many other places, like so many cafes, places where you can approach in Kerala itself. Of course, Bangalore is the place for all these things, but Kerala is not very far behind. In fact, there are many, many people in Kerala, very big groups within Kerala. I'm talking of the people who have come up from Kerala and who are doing very good business. They are, for example, you look at Eastern Condiments, Nawaz Miran. Now, he sold his company. He started in the 80s. He sold his company for something like 1,300 crores. And that is actually a product company. It's not even a service company. To MTR, a Norwegian company, Okra, bought it. So, and he has invested a lot into startups. Like that, there are so many people in Kerala who are willing to invest into startups. And you don't have to need people from Kerala. You can actually get it from outside. But you have to go the right way, that's all. But they should feel comfortable with you. See, when I said, what is the message you have? Those are the things which people who fund the industry look at. Or you have to put in your own capital from your own family. That is what you have to do. Now, we have actually invested in 2 things, but they're not technology startups. They're actually product and service startups. One is actually a product startup in Madras, and the other is actually a service startup. It has to do with insurance. Sabir, I hope.
Yes, sir. It's clear. Sir.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Okay, one more question can be taken from the audience if they wish. Otherwise, KGN sir can conclude.
Okay, shall I conclude? Since
Okay, sir. That will be
if you want to know anything about entrepreneurship, you can get my number from.
Okay, we have your contact, and that will be shared.
You can call me, and I can put you through to many things which will be very helpful.
Okay,
now, before I conclude,
sure.
I'm going to come back to my title: "Fail to Succeed." Now, do you think that these two people, Alok and Balasubramaniam, failed or succeeded when they sold their company? Of course, they had an exit strategy. Well, I will tell you this. Alok Sen was my classmate at IIM. And Jeeves Consumer Service, when they sold it to Flipkart, they sold it for an amount which was 200 times the amount they had initially invested. So they had a lot of failures. And finally, they exited. So I leave it to you whether you have to fail to succeed. Thank you, and over to the MC. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, sir, for your endearing words. It was indeed a stimulating session. Next, we welcome our second chief guest, Ms. Saabina Siraj, the director of Favone Laundromat Pvt Ltd, a company based in Trivandrum. It is operating under the brand name of Fabri Clean. What's most striking about her is that she's an alumnus of TKM CE 2009 batch. She will be giving us a talk on innovation, a word that gets our creative juices flowing. Ma'am, please do begin.
Hello. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am, you're clear.
Is the video clear?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Manal, for introducing me here. Hello and good evening to everybody. My name is Saabina Siraj. I am a co-founder and one of the directors of the company called Favone Laundromat Pvt Ltd, as Manal just mentioned. We are a chain of laundry and dry cleaning outlets based in Trivandrum. We have a central processing plant along with multiple outlets within the city, and we operate under the brand name of Fabri Clean. Before I go ahead, I need to explain this, that I'm extremely humbled and happy to be here as an ex-student of TKM. So thank you all for including me to be a part of this platform. Today, I was asked to talk about innovation, specifically entrepreneurial innovation. So when we hear the term innovation, what is the first thing that comes to our mind? Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Google, Amazon. Truth is, these are all brilliant examples of innovation done at the right time, the right way. But we also need to remember that innovation is not the big things that make headlines, not the huge discoveries or the big changes. It's also the small things. As an entrepreneur, or even as a student, as a potential entrepreneur, what we can understand is that small things contribute to innovation or to the success of a company in ways we don't understand. Here, we all know about multiple instances of successful companies, but as Krishnan Nair sir said just now, there are instances of failures also. So what makes an innovation click is not something that is always in our control. But sometimes good ideas come out of nowhere. Sometimes inspiration strikes. Sometimes we make it work. So before I go ahead, I'll give you a brief introduction about how we set up a company. My husband and I, we are co-founders of our company, and we are both engineers with master's degree. We both were working in corporates before entering into entrepreneurship. Again, I want to repeat the few words that Krishnan Nair said, sir just said now. Working for a few years or to gain experience before launching into an entrepreneurship is always a good idea. Practice, from my experience, I would definitely suggest that again. So when we came here, we saw this industry, that is laundry and dry cleaning, and realized that it was huge. The industry in India is estimated to be around 6,000 crores, but a major chunk of it was, how could I say, locked down in unorganized sector. So we came in, we didn't bring anything new. All we did was realize that there was a potential to create something professional, organized, and something that we can provide to our customers from an unorganized sector. We came up, brainstormed, we discussed with people, we took feedback, we worked on our products, we worked on our services to come up with a solution that would be worth it for our customers, for us, and we're constantly evolving. So I cannot tell you that if innovation happened instantaneously. It didn't. For us, it came through years of experience, came through years of interacting with people, trying to understand what is the need of the hour, trying to understand what is the demand in the situation, trying to understand the pulse of the city that we are in. These all intangible ideas is what ultimately contributes to our working, or what you say call as innovation. So we knew that we could come up with something. As I told earlier, we came up with a niche market. We concentrated on a niche market of premium segment of laundry and dry cleaning. We offered individual services, we offered pickup delivery, we offered separate packing, we offered collar bows and shirt boards, etc. All these were extra. This was what we were doing apart from what was expected of us. So as I wanted to tell you earlier, that innovation for us means being open to ideas, being open to the fact that we can always learn. We can always understand new things as soon as we understand that we are not infallible. We are not always making perfect things. We can always make mistakes and learn from it. So that's what we do right now. We all know about extremely successful stories of innovation. I would like to share just a few instances of innovation, real life, that I've personally come across. Again, I'm reminding you again, innovation is not what you consider big. You know, if you can come up with a technique to reduce the company's cost by even say 0.5%, that is an innovation. If you can come up with a way in which you can create a better team spirit among your employees, that is innovation. Something minute that you can introduce so as to make sure that your customers are happier, that is also innovation. The first instance I want to share with you is that of my husband and his friends. He was also an alumni of TKM. He was a student of 2004 to 8 mechanical batch. I remember that this was the time we didn't have WhatsApp. We did not have unlimited data packages. We did not have unlimited talk time. So he and his friends, they realized that there was a huge demand for phone charging after 11 p.m. That is, a lot of the students, specifically within TKM, they used to be on phone till late at the night. And a lot of the times they would run out of charge. There was no other way to get it charged. So they formed an association, a brand called MS and Associates, combining the initials of their name. That was Martin, Shrikant, and Niyaz. And they formed MS and Associates with the tagline that they will be available for recharging your phone any time of the day, any time of the night. It was only 40 rupees profit per 1,000 rupees recharge, but they had unprecedented success. They had more customer base than they anticipated. And within 3-4 months, they earned enough profit to set up a banner as sponsorship for Maxim, which was almost worth 3,000 rupees, purely from the profit of what they created. Looking back now, it sounds like a very funny memory, but I understand that this particular way of thinking, of looking into a problem or seeing that we have a solution in hand and working towards that, that is what helped them. There was another example that I want to talk to you about. This was in 2012. It was around the time that I joined WhatsApp for the first time. One of my friends contacted me within 2 days of me joining and saying that she is doing sales of cloth materials and saris, salwars and all that via WhatsApp. And would I be interested? And I said, sure, why not? And only after that, I realized she had set up, like she was one of the first people to start using WhatsApp in her network. She used WhatsApp to further her sales, to increase her business, and to make sure that she reached profit. And I want to specify, she was a homemaker and she was someone who couldn't complete her bachelor's due to personal reasons. But for me, she is a symbol of a true innovator. Like, first thing, she saw the potential of a new technology, realized how to use it, and made sure that she brought it for her own profit. Second, she knew exactly how to utilize her contacts, social network, and to make sure that she maintains the networking enough in such a way that it will be beneficial for her business. Sure, it doesn't look like a success story worth millions, but for her, for someone of her limitations, and for someone of her background, it is an enormous growth. That is what I said. Innovation is not something that we always see as huge success stories, but little things like this. There's another story of my friend. She was a writer who accidentally became a cosmetic manufacturer because she created a bunch of soap in her kitchen by mistake. Like, she messed up the quantities and she had a large number of homemade soaps, more than what she could use. She decided to give it away to her PTA meetings and her neighborhood association ladies. One lady came back to her and said that the soap was extremely good on her child with eczema. And she asked, can you make it again for her? For some reason, this particular batch of soap that she started off as an accident became a brand. Now, Shabia, that is my friend, she runs an entire business of homemade cosmetics, natural organic cosmetics called Wild Earth. Here, again, it was an accident, but she decided to be an innovator. She decided to see the potential in it. She decided to increase the quality of it. She decided to make sure that her brand is reachable to other people. She marketed it. She made sure that the product is good. Voila, the product is read, and the product is made, and the brand is made. Success story. Another big story that I would like to share is about Professor Sunil Handa. I consider him as one of my biggest mentors. He's a professor in IIM Ahmedabad, and I met him when I was doing a course in IIM Bangalore for female entrepreneurs. He came into our class and he was not like a traditional professor. All he did was talk to us about his life experiences. And the first thing he said is how he bumped into intravenous fluid making. He was visiting his father in the hospital, and he noticed that the nurse was trying very hard to open the IV fluid bottle. It was very hard. The lid was stuck in a very weird way, and she was always spilling it whenever they tried to open it. He being an engineer, decided that there was something that he could do about it to make it better. And he did. He went around researching about it, talking to people, pharmacists, chemists. And even after so many people dissuading him, saying that there's a very less margin in IV fluids, he can definitely easily concentrate into more products like different medical consumables, which had higher margin. But he was sure about it. He created a better form of IV fluids, better packed, and he set up a new company, he set up a factory to mass produce it. And his company, that is Core Healthcare, it grew into being the biggest producer and importer of IV fluids in India. He later sold the company, and then he's currently the trust chairman of Eklavya Foundation. But he says this was in early 80s. And there was a time when, again, entrepreneurship was not really encouraged as such. But he knew that this is what he wanted to do. He was willing to take chances. He was willing to learn. He was willing to work on it. and to make his product better. He has three methodologies that he told us, three advices for any entrepreneur to succeed. First, observe people, observe the surroundings around you, observe the opportunities around you, atmosphere around you. Second, be perceptive to new ideas. Like learn from other people, learn to be humble enough to know that there are other people who know better than you. Learn to be humble enough to know that you have prejudices inside you that you need to overcome. So be open to new ideas. And the third most important lesson he told us is, do not be scared to ask stupid questions. He said that just because he had the guts to have an idea, to go around to people asking questions, why not? Why can't it be made better? Why can't this be done a different way? Why cannot we increase the efficiency by doing it in a separate way? Any innovator has come up with questions. Why? Why not? How can we do it better? Maybe something existing as routine as ever for the past 50 years can be innovated, can be made better by just the idea of someone who's willing to work for it. So he said this to us. You might think you're asking stupid questions, but you never know. Your answer might solve and bring problems to solution that we never knew existed. So I believe his point of view, and I think that has helped me to understand that in our company also, it's always better to see that new ideas can come out from anywhere. It's always better to unlearn your old ideologies. It is always better to remember that we can learn from others. Again, innovation is not something that can be taught. Nobody can tell you how to be an innovator. Nobody can teach you how to think outside the box. But your life experiences can shape you that. You can travel, read, understand that you are part of an ecosystem that cannot exist as its own. Innovation comes as from inspiration. And that inspiration comes from being receptive to other ideas, to other people, to being open to the fact that we can be making mistakes too. It's fine. I see a lot of CEOs in today's panel. I just want to wish you all best of luck. I hope you all reach great heights and your products or services, everything reaches great height. And to all of you who may be potential entrepreneurs, I just want to say whatever Sunalanda said to me, that be open, observe, and do not be afraid to ask stupid questions, because you never know, you might be the next big innovator. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a mind-stirring
the
session.
stage is now open
sure.
for have discussion. Any doubts or any queries from the audience? You can have 2 or 3 queries, please.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Can I know who I'm talking to?
My name is Zainuddin. I'm second year EC student at TKM.
Okay. Hi, Zainuddin. Tell me.
Ma'am, my doubt was, you said you started the laundry company. So I want to know who were your first customers? Like, how did you approach them? Or how was their approach towards you?
We set up the brand of Fabric Clean. This was in 2016. We actually brought in an inauguration team. We had a celebrity to come in and inaugurate. We marketed it within the local media, social media, radio, and newspapers. We did not have issues with the clients coming in because we knew that there was a big void in the market, and all we needed to do was actually let ourselves be known, our presence be known. It was not a big problem for us to actually get customers because we concentrated only on that particular niche market. It was, and we started off with 2 outlets, and both the outlets had customers walking in slowly through word of mouth publicity within the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
I have a message coming in. Just a second. I think, Denoy, do you do laundry or into business? What are some of the biggest obstructions to innovation in your organization? or industry sector where most of the people around us wash their clothes or prefers to wash them in their homes. Hi, Denoy. First of all, the idea of people washing the clothes in their home is not exactly a big threat for us, because what we offer is a better service in exchange for their time. We can say that you, as a customer, you don't need to be wasting your time doing something like laundry. It's as mundane as laundry. You can just give it to us and use that time for something that is much more productive. Secondly, we also concentrate a lot on dry cleaning as such, which cannot be done domestically. Once we have a customer who is willing to come in and provide services, and we are willing to provide services for us, and we can always easily convince them that come back to us again. It's easy to do that way. Please, can you describe about Favone Laundromat Pvt Ltd? Hi, Faiz. Okay, Favone Laundromat Pvt Ltd, we are a 5-year-old company. Our base is in Trivandrum, and we operate under Fabric Lean, as I already mentioned. We have multiple outlets within the city, and the exclusive thing is that we offer pickup delivery service to all our customers. We have used only imported machinery. We use specific chemicals, and we work as a team. As in, my husband and I, we are the co-founders, we are the co-directors, we are the ones who work together and everything. We have a team of employees who make things easier for us. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Can I know who I'm talking to?
I'm Nahla.
Hi, Nahla.
Am I audible?
Yeah, sure. Please tell me.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you share a specific innovation strategy that you have recently encountered? Something like maybe in this COVID time that you find which is most compelling one?
First thing, we realized that there was a lot of concerns for people about hygiene. So we had to convince our customers that we are following all the hygiene practices. We made sure that we increased one step in our process of cleaning in such a way that all of the disinfection will happen right before we let the clothes enter into our processing plant. So once we let the customers know that we are following it, it was easy.
Yeah, okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your favorite time spending with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. We are sure that these two inspirational beings have succeeded in expanding your horizons and giving you new perspectives. Moving on, through this initiative, we bring you 4 revolutionary student entrepreneurs from 4 different realms of innovation to present their startup projects and wake up the aspiring dreamer in you. And we begin with our first talk. Let's welcome Mr. Shikin DC, innovator and IR cell head of IEDC TKM CE.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, it's visible.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, all. My name is Shikin, final electronics and communication student in TKM College of Engineering, also innovation and research head of IEDC TKMC. I am here to share my experience as an engineering student, as an innovator, and details of my project works and things I learned from my projects. Actually, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm an innovator. I have worked with many projects that is useful for human beings, like disaster management, accident prevention, etc. And also have worked in paper presentation and have published one conference paper. That's about me. And my first slide is incomplete ideas. Actually, this is a mistake I committed for first 2 years in my academics, while in my projects. Okay, my journey in doing projects and all started with Tattwa 2017, a tech fest in NIT Calicut. That time, our seniors were preparing us for various competitions and all. They introduced various types of competitions like paper presentation, project presentation, line following, robot, etc., etc. And that time, I had an idea, that is a human detection system for rescue operation. That was a theoretical proposal, a theoretical system that can detect presence of human being trapped inside a collapsed building, a rubble. Most of the existing systems were inefficient to find the location of trapped human being inside a collapsed building. My proposal was detecting the location of trapped persons inside a collapsed building by identifying the presence of volatile organic components present in human sweat. Human sweat contains volatile. Hello? Hello? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you can continue.
I thought there's something noise. Okay. So human sweat contains volatile organic components like octanol, which is unique for human being. So in my first paper or in my first theoretical proposal, a quartz crystal microbalance coated with polymer of selective adsorption capability was used to detect presence of such volatile organic components such as octanol. When octanol molecule falls on a quartz crystal microbalance, its frequency of vibration changes. Thus, we can identify the presence of human sweat. That was my proposal. And I calculate the frequency change for one molecule of octanol and using equation like Sobri equation that is related to quartz crystal microbalance. Actually, all the project, the complete project was done theoretical. That was actually a theoretical proposal. That is my first mistake. I think my first mistake in while entering into the field of innovation. Like my ideas, most of my ideas were only limited to theoretical proposal, not into prototype development. Actually, I was not even able to think about prototyping because I had a myth in my mind, a misconception in my mind that prototyping is expensive and very difficult. Actually, this misconception haunted me for 2 years in my first year and second year. During this time, I was always thinking about lots of ideas and their theoretical proposal, theoretical solutions, not prototyping. I felt that it is more easy. I was in a rush, like I need to create new innovative ideas. Last number of ideas. I was not caring about its quality or its efficiency, its practicality. I was thinking about I need to create ideas. But that was actually my first mistake. That is actually prototyping is not a tough task. But I was only thinking about ideation and creating ideas. Okay. My second project was an eco-friendly mosquito trap. I got this project idea from my first paper, that's human detection system for rescue operations. That is actually mosquitoes identify our presence of human beings by detecting the presence of sweat in our body, especially component lactic acid from our sweat. So I tried to make a prototype to attract mosquito using such kind of volatile organic components and burn them using high voltage supply. But also I tried to make a prototype for this project, but I failed tragically. It was not easy to regulate evaporation of volatile organic components. Also, it was not easy to understand the psychology or the behavior of mosquitoes for this project. So this failure helped me to strengthen my misconception that prototyping is difficult. So for the first 2 years, I was only focusing on making ideas. My third project was a smart urinal for long distance buses. This project was done with my 4 friends, and this was presented in KTU Tech Fest in 2018. We made a low-level prototype. Actually, we planned to make a complete prototype, but we were not able to complete that project. Coincidentally, That time, one passenger was brutally beaten by a private bus operators for asking the driver to stop a bus uh, because he need to go to toilet. Uh, so this project had much more relevance at that time, but actually we lost our enthusiasm in this project. After that, in third year, in September 2019, I presented a paper in international conference on microelectronics, signals and systems, which was hosted by our college. And that paper was human detection system for rescue operation, as I mentioned earlier. I changed the implementation methods and I used wildlife robots and all to increase its efficiency. Even though the project was completely theoretical, that is my publication. Then the fourth project, that is actually that project changed my perspective. That is from idea to prototype. I was actually started developing prototypes. My fourth project was an overtaking assistance system using vehicle-to-vehicle communication. And the experience I gained from doing this project changed my perspective about doing projects or engaging in projects. Actually, what this project does is, let us consider a scenario that is you are going in a car and you need to there's a truck in front of you. You need to overtake that truck, but you don't know whether there is an oncoming vehicle through the adjacent lane, or there is a place overtaking, or is it a safe time to overtake. So you don't know, you don't have visibility to the adjacent lane, so that you don't know whether there is any oncoming vehicle. So you don't know whether it's a safe time to overtake or not. With overtaking assistance system, my fourth project was trying to solve this problem by vehicle-to-vehicle communication. Actually, what we are doing is we have a truck in front of us. So when our car reaches into the short-range communication of within the range of that truck, our car monitor can access the dash cam visuals of that truck, so that we can see what are the vehicle coming, what are the vehicle in front of that truck inside our monitor, so that we can observe into the listen to that monitor, watch that monitor, and we can decide whether it is safe time or not to overtake. I made a low-level actually it's a small skills prototype for this project that was using a Raspberry Pi as well as a mobile phone. Actually, this project helped me to realize that prototyping is not a big task. I always thought that in order to make a prototype, we need much more money, funding, and all. But actually, I didn't require any. I didn't require that much expensive components for that. I just required a Raspberry Pi, a operating a laptop. That was enough, and that was provided from my college. So I completed that project with zero cost, with free of cost. That is the main change that happened in my perspective. Okay, after that, then actually due to COVID pandemic, we went back to home, and that time really helped me to improve my skills. Like one of my seniors suggested me to learn open computer vision, OpenCV, and actually learning OpenCV helped me to make prototypes of many of my ideas. So I was interested in advanced driver assistance systems, and knowledge in OpenCV helped me to develop new ideas in advanced driver assistance systems. So I improved my overtaking assistance system, that project, into next level, next advanced level. And after that, I made 3 variations of overtaking assistance system using different technologies. That's all about my projects, my personal projects. Also, I also worked with few other projects, such as bird strike prevention system for airport. Actually, that was one of my dream projects, to prevent a system to prevent bird strike prevention in airport. But as I researched more about that, that was a difficult task. But during that time, for almost 1 year, I researched about that. I studied about bird strike in airports. And during that time, I learned about how bird strike happens, what is the psychology of birds, what is the behavior of birds, how migratory birds, migration happens, what's that theory behind migration and all. I almost studied all about the behavior of birds. Then during the COVID pandemic, I made a project that is social distancing monitoring system using computer vision. After that, a person tracking system during COVID pandemic. These are all are my projects that I worked with. During in doing all these projects, actually what I understood was not having idea is not an excuse. Actually, I am interested in daily life problem solving. If I faced a problem, that is my problem statement. I need to find a solution for that problem. Or to find a problem, that's not a big task. Just observe all the things, listen to your surroundings. There will be much more problems you can observe, and you need to find a solution for that. So that's all about my experience, what I learned from my projects, and that's all about my works. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shikhan. Welcoming Mr. Srihari S., founder of the TKM CE exclusive social media platform WIT, to share his experience with us.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you, thank you. I have a small presentation with me. I will right now present it to you. Hello, is my screen sharing right now?
Yes, it's being shared.
Thank you, thank you. Hello, my name is Srihari, and I'm from a social media platform. We are developing a social media platform which is called WIT. Right now, it is named as WIT because we launched it in TKM, and in memory of the TKM, we launched it as WIT, which is full form as What's in TKM, and I have a hi. My name is Srihari S, and I'm a student of Mechanical Production 7th semester, and this is my team. I'm the CEO and marketing lead, and I have Vishnu Manikandan and Bobby Sebastian by my sides, which is both CTOs in backend and app development. We are right now as an app, and we are going to develop it into a desktop and an iOS app. Right now, I just want to say a simple story, where I believe how do we develop this app? That's a small thing I wanted to share right now. And once upon a time, there was a small event called Ignite 2.0, which was held in TKM IEDC's supervision. And at that time, a senior asked us 2 questions. That questions was, what makes your college life wonderful? And another question was, what makes your college life wonderful? And that 2 questions, which is basically 1 question, changed my whole life. That's how I became the founder of WIT. And we began searching for the answers. There were some problems related to that, and we began searching for the answers. And how can we improve on that answers? That's how we started on WIT. And we began to brainstorm, and we were trying to find out solutions. What were that questions for that question? And we found out there were 3 things, which is one is what makes our college wonderful is one is friends, one is the college romance, one is the memories that we get from the college. And as always, when we get some good things, there will always be bad things. And the problems we encountered while making these good things in our college was missing out some events. Simply saying there might be some events which will turn over our lives. Like as I said, we started thinking about it in INSPIRE 2.0 in IEDC supervision. And if I missed that, I would not be here with it. As there are always saying, there will be always some events happening in our college which will change our whole life view and give us lots of memories. We notice that some people are missing out this. This dash can be filled out with anything, like missing out great friendships, missing out great events, missing out great memories, moments, even a Google form that can change your life. Making connections is hard for some people because there are introverts, there are extroverts. For extroverts, there is very much easy to make connections, but for introverts, it is a bigger hurdle to jump that. And for middle type people, which lies between the extroverts and the introverts, they have a little more hardness in making the connections. And for them, making connections is hard. The connection can be termed as making connection with alumni, seniors, teachers, fellow students. Anybody can be termed as a connections. And that connection can change your life in a very much hard, very much another time. And making a connection gives you pride, fame, will make you famous, and it will also give you a potential to grow furthermore in your career and your ambitions. And that connection is super important in a college life. And there is always a problem in information spread. Like there can be said, like if the information spread fast in colleges, but it's not pretty fast. It's dependent on a whole lot of factors. If it's like anything bad, it will spread a whole level faster. And if it is good, it depends on the people who shares. But if for example, let me take an example. If I want to spread an information which could change you a whole lot into a newer level, I have to convince a lot of clubs. I have to convince a lot of influential people to share this information. You can notice it anywhere in any club. If they are going to host an event, they have to convince a lot of people and they have to make a poster and share it, always put it into maximum sharing. And that's how we spread fast. And it's not fast enough. It's not fast enough right now, and it will not be fast in the future. And that we want to change. And ability dies with age. What do I mean with this? It's a simple thing. When we get into first years, right now I am fourth year, and when I got into first year, I have a creative thinking ability. I had I had ability to criticize anything, and I had innovation thinking at a very higher much level. Like if you are saying in Malayalam, and after a certain type of years, after college pressure, etc., any pressure which lies upon us, we began thinking in a practical level, which is not, how can we say that? It is a slightly lesser level than the creative level. First, we going to think whether it is practical, and if it's not practical, we won't be thinking about it more. And that is not a good thing. And that's why first years are always the firebrand of the college. And that ability, we intend to keep it on without dying. And these problems we are trying to solve these problems, and we intend to solve it by rescuing you people from dying out of peer pressure, college pressure, and everything. And we began to thinking how do we solve this thing? And we thought of putting a notice board so that everybody could look at it and join and participate in different types of events, and so that they won't be missing out anything. And for solving that, we tried off a notice board, but it is actually not good because it's a physical thing and everybody have to go every time to onto his space, and it's not even very practical. And for an academic structure to showcase their skills and everything there and make connections, as in I said, alumni and seniors, we used LinkedIn, and it's not pretty good, right? Because LinkedIn is for jobs and business to make jobs and connect to people who can work for them. Actually, there are more things than work and job. There are ambitions, there are desires, there are dream projects, etc. And for that, LinkedIn is not yet optimized. It's optimized for companies and jobs and everything. It's basically a job portal, as we can say. And we got an idea. It's simply said, we got an idea, but for combining these whole things. And we also compiled that WhatsApp, which is commonly we use that thing. So we also combined a social media type thing and notice board, WhatsApp plus LinkedIn, and we all combined this into a social media realm, and we brought WIT, What's in TKM, and we launched it in TKM for in the name of WIT.